individuals of Welsh descent that have had an impact on the world stage. Which Welsh characteristics do you think make for a good leader?
Well, I'm not sure that I can speak for everybody who's come from Wales and gone on to achieve big things. For me, what I learned in my family home that are Welsh characteristics, certainly a preparedness to work hard. My mother and father were very hard workers. Second, a sense of fairness and equality, that it's about community and making sure that everyone gets an opportunity for the future. I think these are great Welsh values.
Mm-hmm.
I also think a bit of Welsh stoicism probably comes in good stead.
Definitely, great. So we're kind of entering the election period here at the Assembly, and also we've got the US presidential election in full swing. What difference do you think a female US president would make on the world stage?
Well, I'm unashamedly barracking for Hillary Clinton to be the next President of the United States. I know her personally. I'm a great admirer of hers. I think she's got all of the skills and capabilities necessary to be a wonderful president. But I think the symbolism too of the United States of America electing its first woman would reverberate very loudly around the world. One of the security challenges of our age is the fight against the so-called Islamic State. And fundamental to that ideology is the subjugation of women. So for the leader of the United States to be a woman, I think, is the ultimate rejoinder to those who would seek to push women down.
Mm-hmm. So turning to why you're here in Wales today, you're here for the Women in Public Life scheme. What are your thoughts on that? And what are you most looking forward to talking about this evening?
Well, for me, this has got a wonderful sense of life coming full circle. Having been a child here, having migrated from Australia, now returning as a former Australian Prime Minister. What I want to talk about tonight is just some personal experiences as Prime Minister, some reflections on gender, and what we can do in all of our societies to make sure that for the future, women are just judged on their skills and capabilities, not appearance, not family structures, not anything through the prism of gender.
So in your book, which I've got a copy of here,
good.
You talk about the concept of gender prisons. I just wondered what you think women can do to escape the confines of gender discrimination in whatever their working environment, whether it be politics, business, education. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, one thing I would certainly recommend to women is if there is sexism in their environment, to call it out and to have it dealt with. This is one of the lessons I learnt as Prime Minister. I had assumed, it turned out wrongly, that the biggest reactions to me being the first woman Prime Minister would be in the months immediately after I became Prime Minister, and then it would all sort of, get out of the system. What actually happened was that the sort of gendered insult became the go-to weapon during hot political contests. So I wish that I had pointed it out, gendered criticisms earlier in the hope of getting them out of the political debate, rather than leaving it quite late. So act early would be one message. But another message would be it's not just for women to point to issues of sexism. It's very important to have male champions of change who are prepared to fight alongside women for a better and more equal world.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of weeks ago you were with the First Lady in London, and it was a very inspiring event. And education has been one of the key priorities throughout your time in public life. And with your new role as the chair of the Global Partnership for Education, just wondered how you want your work over the coming years to shape and make a difference.
Well, the big mission of the Global Partnership for Education is to make sure that girls and boys around the world get to go to school, primary school, secondary school. We are still 58 million children behind where we need to be just to get kids primary school education. 58 million children who will never see the inside of a classroom. And then as we lift our eyes to secondary school, the task gets bigger. And at current rates of change, it won't be until 100 years from now that we are seeing the first generation of girls in sub-Saharan Africa to go to primary school and lower secondary school. It's too long to wait. We've got to do everything we can to shorten that time horizon. That's the mission of GPE and what I'm dedicating much of my time to now.
Fantastic. Final question. Sheryl Sandberg tells women to lean in, and Ariana Huffington encourages women to thrive. What would be your rallying call to women and girls?
Well, I would endorse both of those, but I'd also say work together with other women and with sympathetic men to clear the barriers out of the way. It's important for women themselves to aspire, but there are some structural barriers that are keeping women out of politics and from achieving in business, and we've got to make sure we're clearing those barriers out of the way.
That's great.